Welcome to the 16-ounce Cinema Podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce Cinema, where we drink pints and talk pictures. I am Material TJ. I'm here with Angus.
Innocence, Angus.
And Michael.
Sweet, sweet American Pie, Michael.
Is that a song?
That's a song she had, yeah.
I don't know.
She didn't write
all her
it.
songs.
Well, she didn't write it, no, but she did shit all over it.
Yeah.
We are talking about this week's theme star, Madonna. We'll get to the movies and everything shortly. I just want to add a little bonus. Mine wasn't that bad. A little bonus this episode is that we all each also watched a music video to go along with our movies, or just, maybe not necessarily. Mine didn't directly pair. Your guys' might have. But we're also going to be talking about some Madonna music videos this episode. So this week I'm first. We'll get right into the beers to start off. I have one I think we may have done before, but I was in a rush because it was a busy, hectic day for me. I have Funky Buddha Pineapple Beach. It's a blonde ale, 5% by volume. And my 10 words for it are blonde like Madonna, beach relates to the music video.
Okay. Can I just say that you said you had to get something like you didn't... It took us 3 weeks to record this episode.
We are late.
You had plenty of time.
Well, yeah, I delayed it, and then I thought I could get it done today. But
I'm sure your beer is still way more related to your movie than the rest of us. So.
That's related to my music video, but not my movie, except for being blonde like Madonna. Yeah, we missed a week because last week you guys were sick, and I was also still sick. I was actually, if we had recorded last week, I was going to bring to the table a 10% ABV cough syrup. That stuff was awesome. It's got like vapor rub in it that you take. That's my favorite cough syrup ever now, but it's like $13 fucking.
Dude, I'm on NyQuil right now, so...
Yeah, you guys are guys are at the level I was last week, so where I was uncontrollably coughing and my voice sounded like this.
I had some bourbon earlier, and it actually made my cough go away.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, that's actually
for that.
The bourbon, honey, and black tea, and then chamomile tea.
Right now in front of me is a bourbon, a beer, acid,
one
pain
scotch,
relief,
one whiskey,
Tylenol, and NyQuil. I feel like a fucking junkie just in front of me.
You got to take your own medicine that you told me. The bourbon and hot tea with honey. Like I did.
Yeah,
that.
I have been. Just not for the show. It'll be before I go to bed.
2 or 3 cups of that a day for 2 days cleared me right out.
Nice. All right. Well, I also had a beer, and Madonna once mentioned rice in the film, so that's how my beer is related to the movie.
Are you breaking your 10 words?
No, I'm not ready for my 10 words. Now my 10 words is coming up soon. It's a Hitchino Nest Red Rice Ale, and it's apparently mildly carbonated, fruity aftertaste, and sake-like.
Red Rice Ale.
That's it.
That's interesting.
I didn't know there was red rice.
Yeah, I didn't either. It has an owl on it. Sorry for the extra words.
Isn't there a Ray Rice?
There is a Ray Rice. I'm gonna beat all my old neighbors tonight.
What?
Is that what he does?
Yeah, he's a woman beater.
A woman beater or a neighbor beater?
Well, I mean, a woman beater, but I have women neighbors, so I'll just beat them.
It's like, what? You just gonna knock on the doors? Hey, you're a woman.
Smack.
And beat them?
You just
punch him,
and you're a woman.
It made more sense till you said it out loud.
You know what'd be great is just like punching him in the face. You got Ray Rice, bitch.
It's Ray Rice time.
It's time. It's Ray Rice time. We always gotta bring it back to
Vader. This beer smells awful.
Just don't do it on the show, please, Mike.
I would love that on the show. Be the most entertaining thing we've done.
What did you drink, Angus?
All right, what I got is what you left over when you came over like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I did leave some cool shit.
Yeah, well, you left some shit. Oh, dude, you left your pants here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Which
Left
ones?
my pants in Dallas.
They're like a pair of like cargo shorts. I don't know.
Oh, I like those ones. Oh.
They were
We're
balled
gonna
up
tell
next
all
to
our
the bed.
listeners the specifics of Mike's pants that he left in Dallas.
Well, also, I think you left a pair of underwear too, because they don't look
He
like
does
mine.
that. He's left pants and
Yeah.
underwear at my house before, and I'm like, dude, when did you even change?
I change all the time. I can't stay in the same clothes.
And it took me like 2 years to actually get them back to him. I think I washed them twice, even though they weren't even like worn. Obviously, I didn't go around in Mike's enormous pants.
Dude, I stole a pair of his sleep pants he left over, and I still have them, I think. And this was like 8 years ago. They've moved from 3 different houses in 2 different cities in 1 state with me.
I still have a pair of his socks that I wear regularly. They're gray.
What the fuck, man?
You gotta
tried-
stop leaving your clothes, bro. We'll just take them.
I
little
sleep all over you
clothes
guys.
goblins.
I tried on your underwear, dude. They were pretty comfortable. I'm gonna have to ask where you
He's
got them.
Yeah, you can wear that Under Armour, man. Like,
It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the beer that Mike left is Dogfish and Woolrich present Pennsylvania Tuxedo. It's a pale ale brewed with Pennsylvania spruce tips, and it is an 8.5% alcohol
Alright.
by volume. So
Spruce.
it's gonna fuck me up.
spruce sticks. Okay.
That's my 10 words as Mike left it here.
All right.
All
let's
right,
get
we've got a
straight
few
to,
seconds to talk about our beers. Mine
Oh.
is I'm probably contradicting myself because I feel like I've had this on the show before. Maybe we should keep a list. Anyway, there's that little hint of pineapple citrusness, and it's really dry.
Yeah, mine's not worth it being $1.99. But it'd be worth like $1.25.
That
Yeah, mine's fucking
75
gross.
cents is really getting to you. You're like, I gave up 3 extra quarters. Yeah, 3 extra quarters I didn't want to for this beer.
Dude, quarters can
Well,
buy
it's,
me
it's
like
mostly
a
the
bag
potential
chips.
of like all the other lost beer that could have been. This could have been so much better, you know?
Lost beers, like lost
Mhm.
films.
Mm-hmm.
That should be our theme next week, lost films. We'll just
Hey, you haven't
speculate
won.
what
Shut
we
up.
think these lost films might have been.
Let's get the music videos out of the way before we do our movies. I think maybe.
Oh, you want to do those all at once?
Yeah. I want to do.
Well,
it
we
all
had
at
agreed
once,
to
I
do
think.
them as we each did our movies, but we can get them all the way all at once.
Yeah.
All right,
do it.
let's just dive right in. So I watched La Isla Bonita. It is from her 3rd album. I don't remember the name of which because I didn't do basic research. I figured if Mike
Hey.
doesn't, I'm not going to.
Was that the
but it did
first
come
one that
out.
popped up?
No, I don't.
When
I don't know.
When I searched
I-
her name, that was the first one that popped up.
Oh, we all
I
have different Google.
Specifically sought out
yeah.
this song because they used to play it on like the radio at work, and I heard it and I really liked it, and I didn't realize it was Madonna, and then I heard it on the radio on the way home, on a completely different station. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm into this song. Weirdly, I was gonna say something before you asked that question, but now it's gone.
That's all right.
Good.
Tell us about the video.
I'm back. So it came from her 3rd album, which came out on my birthday, 1987, and so it's got like some like island Spanish Latin feel to it, as you might imagine, because it's called La Isla Bonita. And the music video has Madonna. It's kind of in like a monochrome, not quite black and white, but a very, very gray palette. And so there's these like Mexican guys hanging out, like making music, playing the guitar. I actually watched this with my wife, and she said that Mexican is sitting on a garbage couch, which is pretty much literally what it was. He was kind of on a curb surrounded by garbage and garbage cans playing the guitar.
And this is why we need the wall.
Yeah.
I don't want garbage furniture in our country.
Well, the guy, but I mean, who knows who left the garbage there? The guy just decided to post up and start playing his guitar. He could play his guitar really well.
Who
And
left the garbage out?
Madonna is upstairs praying, and she has like rosary beads, and she's up there kind of like looking down on the music, like wanting to party. And then she starts like, well, the lyrics are like she's remembering, but the music video is more like this is a fantasy of going to a tropical island, and then you see, you know, everything's on the island, full color now, and Madonna in the like the city scene, she's just like in a white tank top and plain clothes, but then in the island fantasy, she's wearing a crazy red flamenco dress and like riding on the ground, rubbing herself instead of praying. And
I like when she touches herself, I'll say. Yeah, she's good at that.
But doesn't she do
She
that
is
in
good
every
at that.
video where she just
Yeah.
touches herself with rosary beads?
She didn't do it in my
the-
video.
I mean, that's kind of been her thing, this like meeting of like religion and fantasy or something, because she had like a prayer, which was maybe
Didn't
a
she
prayerful
interracial
song,
kiss
or
some guy in the
maybe a
Pepsi
song
movie or
about just
something?
sex. Oh, she had an interracial. I'm sure she's had interracial kisses. I mean, even in this video, she's
No, I
like
think
all
I
about
think she had
Spanish
like the
dudes.
first interracial kiss in a Pepsi commercial or something like that. I remember that because I used to watch a lot of MTV, so I think that's true. Or at least it's
First
true enough.
interracial kiss in a Pepsi commercial.
It's pretty.
I used to watch a lot of interracial kissing. Is that what inspired you, Mike?
I guess so. It was Madonna.
You wanted to be the
And
Madonna?
Pepsi. He wanted to be cool like Madonna and drink Pepsi and kiss black people.
And I do like Pepsi. I do like Pepsi over Coke, so there it is.
But you left out that you really liked black girls.
Oh, right. That's also important to the story here.
The way you left that out almost looked like suspiciously hateful. Like you were saying, yeah, TJ, I like Pepsi. But not that other part.
No, I like
But that's
everything.
not true. You quite like
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
very
that's true.
you're pansexual.
So I also watched the music video, if I may.
I didn't quite finish mine.
Oh, sorry. All right.
I mean, that's the gist of it, though, is that she
I
stays
don't want to
up
step over
there.
your Madonna video.
She stays up in her room, but then the fantasy Madonna in the flamenco dress leaves the room, goes down, and like doesn't really join the party. She like sees the guys, dances her way through, and then like walks off down the street. So I'm like, well, if you're
This is
gonna
her pre-interracial
fantasize,
days, so
why wouldn't she? Oh, she's just like, I'm gonna go down the street to the white people being Latin, not the Latin people being Latin.
So she
You
made
can't
out
hang
with
out.
white people acting Latin, then went black. Like she just step-stoned her way up for her
Yeah.
But
video.
these people in this video were Latin. They were
Yeah, but you
Latin
said she went to
people.
hang out with the white Latins.
No, I'm saying that was a joke. That she went down and she couldn't actually.
Oh, I thought she really did
Yeah.
it.
Because it was mystifying that she would have this fantasy of going to this island, and clearly she was up there like being like religiously repressed and not wanting to just go down to this block party. But then her fantasy self, when her fantasy self goes down, her fantasy self doesn't join this block party that triggered all these fantasies. Her fantasy self sees the block party, dances her little way through it, and then walks her ass down the street away from the block party. Like, is she just going to go to the docks and get on, her fantasy back to her fantasy island? Or, that was the letdown of the video. But
Well, speaking of letdowns, I watched Madonna's American Pie remake, and I felt it was a goddamn American travesty, really. In fact, I wrote down that there's nothing that could make me watch more than 1 minute of this video, and which is exactly how long I lasted. So
you didn't
I
watch
thought-
the whole video for the sake of this show?
no, I stopped
think-
after a minute.
Mike, don't feel bad. I didn't watch all mine.
Thank you. I thought I was.
You
I
little
gave it a
chicken
whole.
shits?
I tried. I googled Madonna videos. I looked for at least 3 minutes. I went, oh, American
You couldn't
Pie.
dedicate
this is
3
gonna
minutes to this show.
4 minutes and 30 minutes.
3 minutes of
and 36.
homework you couldn't bring to this show, besides
Well,
your 90
it'll-
minutes of the movie. An extra 3 minutes was too much.
Actually, I spent 3 minutes looking for a video, chose a video that I thought would be great, and then abandoned it in hatred. So,
I'm
so no.
disappointed in you, Bo.
She did use a large American flag as the backdrop, which I thought was cool, but I was just really disappointed. The whole thing sucked. Everything sucked. She was terrible in it, and the music was terrible. And I tapped out at the minute mark because like some other man's voice joined her in her horror rendition of it, and that was Madonna's American Pie. I didn't like it.
It
And
sounds pretty cool. I liked it.
Thank
Good
you.
video, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Precise.
Thank you.
Okay, so the one that I watched was Madonna's Burning Up. And man.
I thought you were actually going to do the I'm Madonna bitch one.
What?
I thought you were going to do I'm Madonna bitch.
I don't know what that is.
Didn't she do that with like Nicki Minaj, you said?
Oh, no, I'm not. No, that's stupid.
I was really looking forward to you talking about that.
No,
Okay, we both disappointed TJ. That's great.
Right?
Yeah, well, now we're going to get our listener feedback saying they want to hear Angus's take on I'm Madonna bitch. So it'll come back. It'll come back around.
Nobody requests that.
Everybody requests that. And we'll do it. He has to.
That's the rule. All right, I watched Burning Up. Basically, the video starts with like a bunch of weird shit, like weird eyes and things and weird shapes, and then it like mismatches into others, and then she's like choking herself with a dog collar, like 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 the dog choker, like the ones I would wear like on my belts and shit.
The chain,
yeah,
chain,
like the chain,
not a leather choker, but a chain choker.
Yeah, the chain choker, and she's like choking herself with it while she's dancing and shit. So that was pretty.
I would have totally watched
this whole video. That's a video we're all watching when we're done with the episode.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and like all these weird things, and then like about a minute in, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna watch some porn." So I went
that
to
chain really got you.
So your video was actually so good you couldn't finish it.
Exactly.
Mine was so bad I couldn't finish it.
Dude, I went to
TJ was just lukewarm.
I went to X Hamster and had the music still playing while I was watching porn.
Did you go to X Hamster and just put in like Madonna lookalike?
Yeah, like I put in blonde chick or whatever, and yeah.
It's a blonde chick or whatever. Spit out a brunette at you. You're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Just I typed in rosary beads,
All right, let's get to Madonna movies.
Oh, I wanted to finish.
He was literally
I thought he did
mid-sentence.
Well,
I thought he finished.
He finished with the Madonna, like, in his scenario, but he didn't finish talking.
That's true. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so the big finisher was apparently, like, at the end, when I was done and I went back to the video, there was some dude, like, in a car driving at her while he was in water and she was on, like, a boat in water. And it turns out, like, that's her real-life brother in that video. So then I went and watched incest porn after. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a trivia for La Isla Bonita. Was that in its instrumental form before it became a full song, it was offered to Michael Jackson, who turned it down, and then Madonna took it and wrote the lyrics and melody and beefed it up from its bare bones form.
I don't want no dirty Mexicans on my song.
Woo!
Yeah!
I couldn't tell if that was TJ or Angus.
Did you say yikes? I can't. I don't know where my voice went. Did you say yikes in Michael Jackson voice? Yes! Yikes! I hope you went away from the mic for those horn blows.
I just assumed they'd be beeped, maybe.
Beeped?
Or whatever.
Or whatever. TJ will just do all the fucking work.
Hey man, you fucking knew this was happening. You knew we were cold.
You sick, nasty people.
We were cold.
Cold. Wear a jacket, bro.
Dude, he came here, he didn't have
I'm actually
one.
sweating fucking profusely sitting here, like, naked, just sweating.
Are you really naked? Are you wearing
I had to take my clothes off.
You're wearing a loincloth, aren't you?
Yeah.
If I owned a loincloth, I would 100% be wearing one right now.
He's just wearing Under Armour and a shirt and socks and pants.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here in Mike's underwear.
At least one of us is wearing Mike's underwear right now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm not wearing your socks right now. I could be, but I'm not.
All right.
So, right into the movies. I watched Desperately Seeking Susan from 1984. This was, it had Madonna in it right before she hit it big. And basically, actually,
the year of my birth.
Yeah, the year of your birth, not your birthday.
That's right.
But basically, while this movie was in production, she became huge. What's funny is that it also has Rosanna Arquette in it. And Rosanna Arquette won an award for Best Supporting Actress, except that Rosanna Arquette is actually the lead actress and has more screen time and more lines, and the plot revolves around her. and Madonna is the supporting actress. But
Wait, is that really how you say her name? Rosanna?
Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah.
How would you say it, Michael? I want to hear
I don't
this.
know. I guess I've only ever heard it as Roseanne.
See, I thought it was Patricia.
That's way
I thought it was pronounced David.
I don't know how to react to that dumbass remark.
Oh. I'm offended for both me and Angus.
I didn't know. I didn't mean to be offensive. You know it was a dumb joke. Anyway, Michael, there's a Rosanna and a Roseanne, and they're spelled differently.
Oh. All right, thank you.
Yeah, one has an E, one has an A at the end. So this movie opens up in a salon. The very first shot is of feet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Some
It's
nice...
not Roseanne Barr's feet, is it? Yeah.
No. I would say they're nice feet. I know you don't like, painted toenails, but that's what they're doing in the salon is they're painting, painting these
sense.
delicate little feet.
Yeah.
I've
I've never been into a movie more than I am right this second.
I should have taken more notes. I actually did rewind because I was like, oh my gosh, this opens right on feet. And I rewound it just to see if I could gather more, but I didn't.
I wish you went to a porn site after for foot videos.
Yeah.
Just immediately switch over.
Let's just turn
Blonde
TJ
girl
into a
feet.
fetishist.
This whole Madonna thing has put me on a dark path. So we're in the salon. These women are chatting, and there's this ad in the paper that says "Desperately Seeking Susan." And so what it is that there's this guy called Jim, and him and Susan meet up kind of all over the country, and basically wherever they wind up, Jim will place the ad, and then if Susan's in town, he'll come meet her up. So they meet, and then vice versa. So they meet up by placing these ads. It's like their cute little romance. And
That seems
so
like it
they're
would get
talking about that.
expensive.
I guess, yeah. And how long in advance do you have to get those ads in, right? You probably can't do it just the day before. You got to know where you're gonna be, and I don't know.
There was no internet back then, so that was your only choice. So it had to be full of fucking personal bullshit like that.
Right, and
That's the only way people
once,
could contact people.
Once we meet Jim and Susan, it becomes even more peculiar because Jim is kind of like a traveling garage band player, and Susan just some sort of drifting slut. So
Hell yeah.
the fact that they
Susan
would be
Madonna?
Yeah, Susan is Madonna.
Okay.
I'll refer to her as Madonna, but that's her character's name.
I
is
think
Susan.
that's how we
I'd
should
prefer
describe every
slut.
movie. It's just Madonna. Don't give her character name.
Well, yeah, they can't. No, that wouldn't make any sense. But
I was
but
thinking
also,
it was
it doesn't
Patricia
make sense.
Arquette.
These are people who just kind of drift. They wouldn't have planning to meet up with personal ads. I don't think so. It's and I don't know that they would be the type to be romantic or cute in this way because they're both 80s punkish. So they're kind of trashy.
I'm imagining
Anyway.
Jim is Jim Belushi, so this is a cool movie.
No,
Jim
it's,
Belushi, why?
yeah.
That's terrible choice.
I thought his name was Jim. That just makes sense to call him Jim Belushi.
That's like
Wait, who's
imagining.
the famous Belushi?
That's like imagining somebody's Kevin Farley. Why would you do that?
Isn't Jim Belushi the famous one?
He's the shitty one that nobody
Yeah.
likes.
He's the one
Who's
that
the other
didn't
one?
die.
John.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I almost said James just to mess with you.
James
If Mike
Belushi.
was a director, he would cast his movies just based on whose name fit.
Yeah, dude,
I
that
got
makes
this
some great movies.
guy named Carl. Who's a famous Carl?
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Oh, I was gonna say Carl Malone. Yours is
He's
better.
gonna be this 20-year-old going into university.
He's got that Brad Pitt disease, whatever that's called.
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, who's gonna play Benjamin for you?
That's too much. I don't know, man. I'm not a director here.
So now we first meet Madonna. She's in this pink and red room, and she's taking like Instagram pictures. She's on the floor with a Polaroid camera. Just that's exactly what it is Instagram pictures. And she's in a hotel. There's a guy asleep on the bed. And Madonna starts like stealing stuff from the room, just whatever she can find. She finds some earrings. There's money. She steals silverware, and she
Badass hotel room. What the hell?
yeah. And then she heads out. She dips out on the guy who's still asleep. Next, we meet Gary, who's big in the hot tub business, and
we're at Gary's hot tubs.
Yeah,
I want to hang out with Gary.
Gary rules.
It's even better. This party is thrown at Gary's house, and he stops the entire party because it's 10:58, which means his new commercial is airing. And so he stops the entire party so everyone can see his commercial for Gary's hot tubs.
I hope Gary makes out with a black dude in the hot tub. It's the first time ever interracial.
The Dr. Pepper commercial.
This guy is played by Gary Sinise.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love Sinise.
He's great.
He's not actually, though. It's a Gary.
Oh,
fuck.
Jeez, that was really smooth.
I thought Lieutenant Dan was in this with hot tubs.
So
that'd be great. He's back on the water.
Next we cut back to Madonna. She's getting off the bus. She came from Jersey back into New York. In the restroom, she goes and starts drying her armpits in the air dryer. So remember I said that she's trash. She's that kind of trash who takes sink baths and then dries her armpits in the air dryer.
Well, it's the 80s. We would have done the same thing. Hang on now.
Oh, yeah, like you were telling us your grandpa used to drink urinal water because he's on the sink anyway.
I think there's a slightly different story involved in that, but yeah.
A slightly different story. Why don't you tell the slightly different story that we're not going to
me and my grandpa were fishing, and then after we got done fishing, we went to the local bathroom, and the sink was broken. So I was just like, well, I'm out of luck. We can't wash up because there's no sink. And he just started, wishy-washing his hands in the urinal, and he also drank from it, with not like a dog. He didn't get on his hands and knees or anything, but we had he cupped his hands and he got the water, and he saw my disgusted look, like, you're drinking out of the toilet, man, and then. He's like, where the water comes from the same place, and I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. But,
but it's covered in urine. It sits there. I'm just imagining, he presses the flush button and then just has his mouth on the fall, going down his fucking throat.
If you hit the flush button and the water just, came down from some central area, that would be different. But the water trickles down the pee wall.
Well, listen, I don't disagree with you fellas, but like I said through text, it was just that, he was 80 years old and he survived the fucking Holocaust. He'll be fine from some fucking small town Lantana urinal water. He'll be okay.
Hey, kid, do you want to eat this little cake I found in the urinal?
What a menti.
He's just fucking chewing it. He's washing his head in the goddamn
he washed
stall.
his hands and drank some water. He was fine. He died several years later, non-related. So he was fine.
Your grandpa's the only person who gave himself swirlies.
It's the same water. This is the quicker way to do it.
Well, joke's on me. He had clean hands. I had fishy hands on the walk home. So.
To jest dobrze, tak. That's Polish for I'm Borat.
I hope my mother never listens to this podcast.
Was it her dad or was it your dad's dad?
My mom's.
You don't even remember whose dad your grandpa
I had to
was?
think about it. I only knew one of them. The other died.
But that's funny that you said your mother and then you couldn't even remember if it was her dad or not. Why would she care if it was the other one?
Yeah, my dad wouldn't care. So.
I guess you're right. Why would? Yeah.
My dad doesn't care. He drinks toilet water too.
Yeah. He's like, I'm with you.
With all his faults, I will say I've never seen the man drink out of the toilet. So,
dude, your family's like an untrained dog.
So anywho,
So yeah, after Madonna gets done drinking out of the urinal, we're back with Gary at his party, and he's
Gary
talking
Sinise.
to Rosanna Arquette, whose character name I thought at first was Rebecca, but it's actually Roberta. And I don't know. In this whole party atmosphere, I didn't quite pick up on the relationship. She is Gary's wife, but I must have missed something because I couldn't tell if like he was her dad or her boss, because he treats her kind of like a servant. But I guess that was the point, that he's not treating his wife right. But they're also like, Rosanna Arquette looks very like young compared to Gary, so that's why I was like, is this her dad? And he's acting like real handsy to be her dad. But no, they're husband and wife. Next we
Why
go
not
back.
both?
We're going back and forth real fast. We're back to Madonna. She's getting into a club.
All right.
And there's a magician and
dancing.
an assistant. Not that club. It's a really like a dive bar place. There's a magician
club
with
at
an
all.
assistant, and the magician is throwing rings, and the assistant catches almost all of them, but drops quite a lot of them. And it turns out that's Madonna's friend who's having trouble keeping this job because they don't want her to wear glasses on stage. That's why she drops all the rings. And Madonna kind of keeps drifting through the city, eating cheese doodles. That's like a running thing for her in this movie. She eats a lot of cheese doodles.
Are they
And,
actually cheese doodles like the Wise brand, or
like total product placement cheese doodles, 1984 cheese doodles that she's chowing down on, and at least 2 scenes
Sweet.
prominently displayed.
this movie brought to you by cheese doodles?
Yeah. Well, the second time is she's actually lounging by a pool in a see-through bra. So like the cheese doodles are right there next to nipple. So they really wanted you to like connect to cheese doodles and buy cheese doodles.
Did you guys ever watch Mac and Me?
No, is that another
that dog
cheese
movie?
doodles movie?
It was the E.T. ripoff.
I know. I think I saw it when I was like 9, but I don't remember it now.
And basically, McDonald's paid for this movie to get made so they could just do product placement, them and Coke. So the alien, instead of like the Reese's Pieces, just drank Coke for his fuel and ate fucking fucking Big Macs.
8 Whoppers? Whoops!
Hey, Whopper.
and there's like a big part, like a scene in the movie, like where they're all at a McDonald's and just everybody's breakdancing inside, and the alien's like pretending to be a human. It's fucking terrible, but it's great.
Well, that'll be a special episode. We'll all watch Mac and Me. So Madonna sees a newspaper, and it turns out that the guy who was asleep in the hotel room was a mobster, and after she left, someone threw him out the window. So now she's a mystery woman wanted for questioning about this. Next, Rosanna goes...
He paid 2 Nigerian guys to do it for him as a hoax.
Oh, man.
That's good.
Rosanna goes looking because she's bored. She sees another ad for, Jim and Susan. She sees it again. So she decides she wants to go see Jim and Susan or Madonna meet up. So she spies on them through they meet at the river or coast, whatever. And she spies on them through one of those 25-cent telescopes. And to reiterate, Madonna and Jim look like 80s trash. I actually wrote it down again in my notes. Madonna shows Jim the paper, which, funnily enough, one of the back headlines to the paper was "Tomcat turns tiger, mauls man and dog." So
I didn't know I could do that.
For those who don't know, with Tomcat, it was also a nickname we've given Angus in the past. So it's fun seeing his nickname turn up as a person mauling a man and a dog.
Hell yeah.
So Jim is kind of like, we're going to figure this out. He drives away listening to Iggy Pop. And Madonna goes drifting around the city again. And Rosanna's
drifting?
following her. And New York drifting. And part of her following her, one of the places she chooses to hide is behind a big fat man. Like, this is the kind of like guy who, like, you don't see this kind of fat in a Hollywood movie. He's not quite trauma fat, but in between the fattest person you might see in Hollywood and Joe Fleshaker.
I was gonna say, I like that Trauma Fat is just the one guy who's dead.
There's other trauma fat, but yeah, he's like...
Well, now they got Zach Amico, who's the fat guy.
So, Trauma has a new fat guy.
Yeah, he's like writing all the movies and stuff now. Like, he wrote the last two Return to Nukem High, which I'm actually going to see Volume 2 tomorrow, live with Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, you're plugging other people's events. You're so excited.
Hell yeah. That happened a week after this comes out.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys there.
So all of our listeners who are capable of time travel, be sure to go check out Class of Nukem High 2 live with Lloyd Kaufman in Dallas, Texas. Last week. I gotta find my place in my notes after that one. I'll be, maybe next year I'll time travel and I'll go see it too. So Madonna goes into this shop, which, in fact, I forget the name because I didn't write it down. This shop actually existed in New York for decades. It was this kind of like bohemian boutique shop until it finally went out of business because rent tripled in the early 2000s. So Madonna tries stealing shoes. Yeah, tripling the rent in 20 years. Madonna tries stealing shoes, and the guy's like, no. And so then she trades her jacket, and she has this jacket with like a pyramid on the back. She says that Jimi Hendrix wore it. And because Rosanna is, being a creeper, after Madonna leaves, Rosanna comes in and buys that jacket and puts it on. When she goes home, Gary sees it. And she tells him, oh, yeah, I got it at this, this shop. And he's like, you bought a used jacket? What, are we poor? And that's just the kind of guy Gary is.
Gary's my kind of guy.
And if you remember earlier, Madonna left all her stuff in a bus locker. She also left the key to that locker in the jacket that Rosanna now has. And there's also one of those Instagram pictures, the Instagram Polaroids in the jacket, which Rosanna bathes with. She
All right.
gets
Wait, what?
in the bath. Yeah, she gets in a bath just staring and holding on to the picture. She doesn't rub herself, probably because Rosanna Arquette can't rub herself like Madonna can. But, yeah, she bathes with the picture of Madonna.
You think they tried for like 3 days to get her to rub herself and she just wouldn't?
The director just like,
gave up.
No, Rosanna. Like they bring in Madonna.
Like they brought in porn stars just to show her how.
No, they brought in Madonna. Madonna was there. Like, look at Madonna. Rub yourself like Madonna. And Rosanna's just like, that's why she had the picture in that scene too. It was like extra oomph, maybe like, and then it didn't work.
This didn't work.
It didn't work. So now Rosanna places an ad trying to, basically tell Susan, I have your key, right? But Jim freaks out because he's like, well, who's sending Madonna keys now? Or messages. So now he thinks there's another guy playing their cute little game that him and Madonna have been playing.
This motherfucker would have flipped out during MySpace days.
Right?
Jealous asshole.
So
who is in your top 8? Who is that?
Yeah.
Oh, he is that guy.
Why are they in your top 8? I don't know them. I never met them. So Jim's got a gig to go to. He's going to be out of town. So he sends a friend of his to go spy on this meeting that's supposed to be arranged. He sends his friend Dax, played by Dax Shepard.
Yes.
And
Fucking 8-year-old Dax Shepard.
Yeah. So Dax Shepard is actually Dez. Jim tells not Dax, Dez that he's gonna know, because he's never met Madonna before, but he'll know Madonna by that jacket she always wears that she's now sold away, and now Rosanna's wearing that jacket.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this movie's getting heavy.
Madonna knows that key is there, so she's rushing to this meeting, and in her rush, she stiffs a cabbie. And
What a rush.
she ends up getting arrested because the cabbie comes after her, and she doesn't have money, and she puts up a fuss, and the cops just arrest her. And so now Rosanna, is just left in the wind, and she gets followed by some guy who offers her candy.
Want some candy?
And it turns out he's
Candy
connected
from Madonna.
to that dead mobster. And this guy is played by Will Patton. I don't know if you guys, if that name's familiar to you, but his face
I know
would be...
Bill Patton.
No, Will Patton, his face would be really familiar to you. He's been in a lot of stuff. The thing I most recently saw him in, he was the sheriff in the new Halloween.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a long career of just kind of popping up
Yeah.
in roles like that. He was in Armageddon, like lots of stuff. So you, like I said, his face, just not his name. And so he's this mobster, out for, we don't know why he's there yet. So
Well, didn't they throw a dude out of a window?
well, Madonna didn't do that. Someone else threw this guy out the window. So, you might assume that Will Patton threw him out the window.
I'm assuming.
So Des shows up on a moped,
what happens when you assume?
trying to get Rosanna's attention, thinking that Rosanna is Madonna. R spins around and hits her head hard on a lamppost. And when she comes to, because Des is there like, Susan, 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 or, Madonna. He doesn't say Madonna because the character's name is Susan. Now she thinks that she is Susan. And she ends up going around with Des, and they wander around New York, going places, trying to jog her memory of being Susan. We get to Dez's place, and Des is cool because one...
Hold on. You know what I'm imagining Des looks like? Is Des from Coal Chamber.
I don't know what Des from Coal
That's the
Chamber
lead
looks
singer.
like. Okay, so
like full makeup and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing now is him.
This movie would be so much better if all the members of Cold Chamber went in it, just dressed as their characters. But they played everything straight.
Just imagine Des collectively as Coal Chamber. So Coal Chamber's apartment, one wall is dedicated to a huge painting of Jackie Chan.
That's
That
pretty
makes
awesome.
complete sense. Yeah.
And Coal Chamber, goes on through the whole movie where he just puts his hands in his pockets and stoops over a lot. It's just weird because you don't often see characters just with horrible bad posture and their hands in their pockets, and he just does it all movie
angina.
long.
A lot of people in the 80s had angina, so that's what it was.
Heart pain, chest pain.
Heart pain, yeah.
So he's just doubling over from like acid reflux.
No.
They couldn't get their
His
actor
stomach's
a
like a coal
Tums?
chamber.
And so now we cut with Gary, and Gary's now on to the fact that his wife is missing.
Oh no.
And he's got his sister there, and they're kind of going over, and the sister's kind of like, well, did she get bored and leave you? And Gary's like, no, no. And then his sister's like, well, did she have orgasms? And Gary gets really upset. He's like, what is it with you and these orgasms? And he says, did Phil Donahue do a show on orgasms? So they had a really, really funny conversation there. And so now Des and Rosanna are still going around trying to jog the memory. But
So is Des like being polite to her, or is he like have her by the elbow?
Yeah,
because
his buddy Jim kind of just told her, hey, look out for her. And so because she's trash and they're trash and they're all trash, there's also this element of like, is she playing a game? You know what I mean? Because they think she's actually this character, and she's known to be just weird and take advantage of people. So he's kind of like, is she playing a game, or is there something actually wrong with her? So he's trying to like figure her out. And so he is being nice to her on the behalf of his buddy, but he's also being careful with her. Now, Gary and Madonna both find their way back to the jacket store because it's the only, way they can think of to reconnect with the locker key and Rosanna. And so they start hanging out in their search. And Will Patton's now following Rosanna. And she ends up on her own away from Des. She starts working as the new magician's assistant. And so she's being followed down an alley by Will Patton. So she just ducks in somewhere and she tells this guy who kind of talks like Luigi. His name's Enrique, but he talks like Luigi.
Enrique homosexual.
She tells him like, "Oh, this guy is following me," and then he's like, "Oh, I'll go out there and take care of him." She sits and waits at the guy's desk, and he's watching TV, and Gary's ad is there in Spanish, but it's not. It starts in Spanish, but then I realized it wasn't Spanish. It was just Gary with the same ad in English with a Spanish accent.
That's pretty cool.
So he's like, "Hi, I'm
Guy's a
Gary,
genius.
and I sell hot tubs." And he'd make him, "Hello, I'm Gary, and I sell you hot tub." It's just like, what is going on?
I didn't know Gary Sinise knew Spanish like that.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No, he was in that show.
That
Gary Sinise speaks Spanish.
show.
Yeah.
All right. Must have
Gary
missed it.
Sinise was on Telemundo.
Just imagine he takes it over. It's Gary Sinise Telemundo week.
Gary Sinise week on Telemundo. El Gary Sinise vaya con Dios. So Will Patton obviously kills the guy, and
Yeah.
she runs away from Will Patton, and
Oh.
she ends up getting tangled up with the cops who think she's a whore because she's in the wrong part of town.
Because she's
And,
a whore.
They just immediately they jump to like, "Oh, you're a woman here? You're a whore. We're taking you in."
makes
Sometimes profiling is correct. I have to admit. It's not always bad or wrong.
You're just a woman in this part of town. You're a whore. Like they have nothing to book her on. They're just like, "Oh, you showed up saying you're running from a man. You're going to jail, lady.
You whore.
You slut,
Harlot.
prostitute."
Imagine they spit in her hair too.
Yes.
These cops rule.
They go like all Les Miserables on her.
They're all Hugh Jackman. I don't get it.
I never watched that. Or
Anyway, in
We're
the
not
midst of
cultured,
this,
sorry.
she
GG
tries
and
to
his theater
escape.
humor.
She tries to escape, and she bumps her head, and now she's got her memory back, but now she's arrested. And part of what she was doing when she was like out, she was actually out shopping for the magician gig, and she had birds with her. So there's a little funny line where she gets in the back of the squad car, and there's another whore there, and the whore is like, "Hello, how do you use the birds?" And so that was funny.
That's pretty funny.
I didn't get it.
And
She asked her how she uses birds for horse.
everyone thinks she's a whore, and another whore in the cop car asked her, "How do you use the birds?" because she had birds with her.
Okay, they fly out of her vagina like a magic trick.
She didn't
I
say.
would pay a little extra for that.
How much extra? Like
$50.
what's bird pussy?
Imagine like two doves come out like it's John Woo. I'd be like, oh yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, now it's time for sex. That's when you know it's on.
You shoot your
John
load in
Woo
slow
birds.
motion.
What if the thing is that she eats the feathers?
Oh, that's cool too, man.
Like
The weirder the
we're-
better.
It's like real twisted.
I'm getting all sweaty again.
You're choking yourself. So now Madonna and Gary are back at Gary's house, and they're just kind of wandering around. It's like, "Oh, we're stuck. Why don't we just go back to my place and get high?"
Yeah.
Which is what they do. But first, like, Madonna's going through Rosanna's stuff and like just pulls out her panties and like looks
Wears
at her
them like
panties.
Angus?
She
Hell
doesn't
yeah.
wear Rosanna's panties, no. But yeah, they get high. And Rosanna tries to call, like her one phone call, she tries to call them. But they're too high to get what's going on, so they don't like realize it's her, and they like giggle her off the phone. And of course she's upset because now, Gary is clearly with another woman in their house. She doesn't understand the situation.
That is sad.
And then the what happens is Dez comes in, pays her bail, and later the cops kind of realize who she is, that she's Gary's wife, and Gary, he's a wheeler and dealer. He's got this big hot tub business. He's well connected. So the cops try to, they call Gary to come get her, but they call him too late. She's already bailed out. So now we keep moving forward. It turns out that Will Patton's after the earrings from the beginning of the movie. There's these priceless Egyptian earrings that the mobster had, and then Madonna stole them. Jim comes back, and he meets up with Dez and, quickly realizes that Rosanna is not Madonna, and they're all converging back on that dive bar where the magician is there. And so, they're all, kind of getting there, knowing something's about to happen. Then John Turturro comes out and introduces the magician, and a whole bunch of chaos goes up with,
You keep
Will
saying
Patton.
magician. I keep imagining like a Watchmen character. And I don't know if there is a magician in it or not in that.
There is not. You know what's hilarious? I'm wearing a Watchmen shirt right now.
Is the magician
weird.
on it?
No.
Is it Mike's?
It's Mike's Watchmen shirt.
No, I don't own one. I only own the collector's edition. I don't own any merchandise.
Anyway, Will Patton gets Madonna, the actual Madonna, and backstage with a gun. So he's caught her now.
Oh.
And Gary catches up with Rosanna, and with a conversation he had with his sister, he tells her, are you a prostitute, a lesbian? Leslie, my sister, told me a lot of prostitutes are lesbians. And Rosanna says, I'm not a prostitute or a lesbian. And then Rosanna leaves Gary, and Madonna gets away from Will Patton and actually just dives back into a dressing room window, and Rosanna hits him really hard with a bottle. And Will Patton gets caught, and Rosanna and Madonna are hailed as heroes for returning these Egyptian earrings.
And then they
course,
dike out.
yeah, Madonna and Jim have their thing still going, and of course Rosanna and Dez have a little bit of a romance. There's nothing now between Madonna and Rosanna. They didn't have anything to build upon. They barely know each other. They didn't meet until the last 5 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's Desperately Seeking Susan.
That's pretty good. I had a good time. I don't think I ever want to watch the movie, but that was a good time.
Good times.
A good time.
Good times. All right, Michael, you watched a movie with Madonna in it, I think.
I did. So, although I almost didn't. So I watched Swept Away, and when it started with flute elevator music and some Italian Guido writing everywhere,
You turned it off after 3 minutes?
let me tell you, I quickly Googled to see if I had just spent $4.99 renting a movie in HD that in fact may not have fucking Madonna in it.
Dude, you actually bought it?
And yes, in fact, yeah, I did rent. Not only did I rent it,
bro.
no, that's not worth my $4.99. My $4.99 is way worth not going to the library.
Honestly, I wouldn't go to the library either.
Yeah,
That's
way easier.
That's more ridiculous to me.
I'm supporting my
than the
Amazonian economy.
Amazonian.
Yeah, they really, that mom and pop Amazon.com really needs that $5.
However, the problem here was in fact that this was not a Madonna film. This was the original movie. So I fucked up, and I had to rent another movie for $4.99.
You jackass!
Did
You spent
watch it
$10
both, or
on
you
shit
could
you
give
didn't
us-
want.
No, I almost decided it'd be fun just to watch the original, but then I was like, no, I can't do that. I have to watch Madonna. So I started over. The actual Madonna movie starts with whistling, not whatever the fuck I said the other thing started with.
Did you watch the other one at all?
No, I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and I was like, this seems wrong.
But you didn't even go back after renting it? Don't you have it for 48 hours?
Well, I was gonna say I still have another day, so I might watch.
You got to
it,
do
but
it,
this
yeah.
was-
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Just bring some of
I
your
got-
thoughts
do I?
to the next episode. Compare
I
and contrast.
would like to hear
and-
that.
Yeah.
All right, that's
I'd
a
like to
good
hear it
point.
too.
All right,
So
I'll go ahead and do
Just
that.
take notes. It's 5 minutes. Not even.
All right, so I'll do that. Plus, this one is directed by Guy Ritchie, so I thought this would probably be cooler than some 70s trash.
When they were together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not together
So
anymore?
anyway, I don't think so. I think they got divorced.
It's
right?
Madonna. They can't. Nobody's with Madonna for that long.
Yeah.
It's like 20 years.
Nobody has Madonna.
She's enigmatic or something.
Yeah.
She's a material girl.
Systematic. Yeah. Exactly.
So the film starts with the real film starts with a bunch of rich people, like montages about like them in jets and eating caviar and while Madonna
music
sings and
video?
stuff like that. Yeah, not really. It's just kind of them in movie like being rich. Then the rich people go on a boat and they go swimming through the Mediterranean from like Greece to Italy. And they're miserable, only like rich white people can be. They fucking suck. Everyone in this fucking film sucks, especially during the first half, like a lot.
At least they're not cunts.
Yeah, oh, they are.
Oh.
You give me 2 sentences, I'll tell you.
Rich
cunt
cunts,
right
wet cunts.
I was actually said next she looks like Hillary Clinton if she were a professional wrestling manager.
She looks like someone's pudding?
That's what?
What did you say?
I said Madonna looks like if Hillary Clinton were a professional wrestling manager.
Oh.
What did
Not
you
like
hear?
Puddin'.
Pudding?
You heard puddin'.
For some reason, I thought you said Madonna looks like pudding if it was a professional wrestling manager.
Dude, that's a weird fucking interpretation of wrestling manager.
I'm like, Madonna looks like pudding is weird enough, but then pudding as a professional wrestling manager, I couldn't follow that comparison. But obviously, because that wasn't what you said.
Also, I don't know how Madonna looked in your guys' movies, but I couldn't
Hot.
handle how fucking jacked Madonna was in my movie. She looked way better than all the dudes except for
when was your movie made?
2002.
2002.
She definitely took steroids, including testosterone, for the filming of this movie.
Well, yeah, she
Or
did
maybe
get
Guy
jacked.
Ritchie just fucked so much man into her that she just got testosterone secondhand. You never know.
Like, his cum just makes muscles big.
Yeah, he got jacked from fucking semen testosterone fluid.
Dude, I would drink so much cum if it had that possibility to make me strong. I'd be mixing it into my water before a workout.
I got a little flab. I think that could tone up. Let me go back though, because you said that Madonna is way hotter than all the guys in the movie, as if you went into a Madonna movie thinking that these guys, or at least one of them, might be hotter than a sex icon.
Hang on. We're getting to that point where there is, in fact, a hotter man in this movie than Madonna.
Is it Noah Huntley?
By far. Even more.
Even more.
There's no such thing.
It's Lawrence
Bite your tongue,
Fishburne.
young man.
So anyway, they do like a bunch of rich people things on a boat. She starts talking about they start talking about like capitalism and socialism, and she says something that like about blind people baking cakes, and that's her defense of capitalism because she's so vapid. And then her husband's best friend doesn't think it's a great solution, so fuck him. And she also calls the fisherman on the boat. His name is like Giuseppe or something like that. She keeps calling him Pee-Pee, and it almost makes me smile. So she's just like, "Come here, Pee-Pee. I need a towel, Pee-Pee. I need some cold water, Pee-Pee." And it's pretty funny.
Cold water, Pee-Pee.
That sounds like your grandpa.
Except my grandpa isn't a beautiful jacked Greek fisherman, unfortunately. And she also calls him Guido like it's nothing. So she calls him Pee-Pee and Guido, like on and off, back and forth, instead of Giuseppe, which is I think a cool name. The coolest part of the early part of this movie is like this really fat guy and this really small guy that work the kitchen.
Did both of our movies have really fat guys?
Yeah, this guy's
maybe
fucking
that was
huge.
at request of Madonna.
You get a really fat guy in there.
Yeah, fat bottom boys. You make Madonna's rockin' world go round.
Honestly, as a fat guy, I kind of like that she does that. She's keeping us working. Good
Just
for
gotta
Madonna.
keep it going. Yeah. So these guys don't really do anything cool, or in fact, really say anything cool. But one's really fat, one's really short, and that's kind of funny so far. And I checked the
Mike's
time.
like the king of body shaming. Like, it's really funny. He doesn't actually do anything, but he's fat, so that made me laugh.
Well, no, it was the juxtaposition between the fat and the short guy. You know, it's funny. It wasn't funny that he was just fat. It was funny that he had a short friend as well.
Like, haha, funny? What kind of funny?
Funny like a fat guy?
So then, like, Pee-Pee and hulked out Madonna make eyes at each other for a while for some reason. And we get another montage of rich, boring, unfunny white people things happening. Like, they're taking pictures and eating food and stuff. That's basically been the movie so far. There is one attractive woman here, except she doesn't take her clothes off or anything, so that's unimportant, and she'll never be mentioned again.
Mike, she doesn't take her clothes off, so I'm not talking about her again.
I want Mike to do special episodes of this, just Mike's sexist movie reviews.
This movie's sexist, not me.
Instead of a best of this year, let's just do a Mike's hate speech episode. She doesn't get any. She doesn't get naked, so I'm not gonna talk about her again.
Fucking bitch.
Should have gotten naked. This is a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, right. So at one point, Madonna calls Pee-Pee Nature Boy. And yes, and this is when I start praying that she starts like blading and chopping him on the chest over and over, and like, woo! Like the whole time.
Dude, there's a fucking fork in his head.
That's why she's so rich. She got into WWE.
Unfortunately, none of this cool shit happens at all.
Kiss stealing son of a gun.
Movie starring a wrestler, not The Rock. It's like my movie stars Madonna.
Yeah. It's a good time to bring up that Roger Ebert gave this 1 star and said it's further proof Madonna can't act.
No, she can't.
Also, Rotten Tomatoes has this at 5% with an average rating of 2.8 out of 10. So I should have read that before watching.
Save this for your selling points, buddy.
Actually, the selling points are oddly enough coming up.
Yeah, usually they come up after you do the movie, you dumb shit.
Well, oh man,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, buddy. I love you.
You went hard.
Yeah, we've all had an apology so far, except Mike, who apologized profusely last episode for lying. So I guess we're all square.
I never apologized for something I didn't do, and nor will I ever going forward. So, anyway, as you can imagine by the name of this film, Pee-Pee and Madonna get
that's the name of the
film.
Pee-Pee and Madonna.
Pee-Pee and Madonna. That's actually a leak. That's not that was an internet leak, not a theatrically released film.
So anyway, they get swept away on a small dinghy boat. Is that what it's called? A dinghy?
A dinghy, so, yeah.
And that's where this is the time Pee-Pee takes his shirt off, and this is where he becomes very handsome.
Pee-Pee dinghy. I like that. Yeah, you're right.
At one point, they start wrestling over the flare gun, and they lose the flare gun. And oh man. Then there's some lightning, and they find an island. And they pedal to the island.
They puddle?
Pedal. Like Madonna calls it pedaling for some reason. So they pedal to the island.
See, you might have said that. Okay.
I did after you said it. It worked out perfectly for me. So sure. Thank you. The island is pretty cool, but now Madonna is on it. And
is it La Isla Bonita?
Not at all. It's just some island. She does lick a rock at one point because she wants to get water, which is really hot, but only mostly because I closed my eyes and imagined someone hotter doing it. So yeah, that was that. After a while, Pee-Pee gets lobster and water and takes all his clothes off and smacks Madonna around and makes her call him master. And in order to eat, she has to say thank you, Master Pepe, for the privilege of washing your clothes, because he makes her wash his clothes at one point. So this film, like, almost over, like, within a second, got, like, 1,000,000 times better.
Pee-Pee rules, dude.
Yeah, he's great. Also, he makes her wait for him to eat because he is a man. And so, like, he smacks her and be like, no, you wait for me. I am the man.
Wow.
Dude, I wish Pepe or Pee like taught a class on like how to treat women.
Yeah, at this point, I actually write that I'm not making this up going forward. This is actually just what happened in the movie. So he slaps her a second time for having the audacity of thinking she could sleep in his little hut because he made a little hut for himself. And so he smacked her and he's like, "You sleep outside," and she does. This is actually turning aggressively sexual and giving me the willies when Pepe kicks her like a dog and giving me the willies, not a willy.
I was gonna say you should have a willy, dude.
I do have a willy.
What happens to it throughout this is different.
He kicks her like a dog and makes her kiss his hand again while calling him master while she cries.
Is he still naked?
He starts at. I'm still naked currently. Yeah,
I meant is Poo Poo still naked?
Oh no! He eventually he got his clothes back that were washed by Madonna. And he's wearing clothes again. Okay, not his shirt though, just his clothes.
This guy just naked and Madonna's still clothed.
I'm imagining he's wearing that big robe that Ric Flair wears.
Oh my like god, that would have made the movie.
Hell yeah, like that's what he's walking around this island with.
He starts being kind of unreasonable at this point.
Kind of unreasonable at this point. He kicked her like a dog.
He starts asking for fruit juice. And it's like, he's like, we're on an island. There's no fruit juice. And so he kicks her again until she looks like a child. Then he makes her sing and dance for him. After a while, he's satisfied and stops abusing her for a bit, and we get a Madonna dream sequence.
Dude, I hope this song was like it's hurting. Ow! Kicked in the ribs for the very first time.
So the island turns into like a 20s concert, and she's dubbed by a largest sounding black woman for some reason. Which I thought was kind of weird, but that's like we get a few minutes of a concert going. Guy Ritchie must have really wanted to beat the fuck out of Madonna or something because to fucking film this. Later, after the dream sequence, Pepe wanted to see her tits, and she kicked him in the balls and ran away. And then they chased each other around like it's 5th grade. And at one point, she yells, "Get off, you monster!" Which I think sends the wrong message. Get off, you monster, because then he rapes her. That's where the film went next.
I really thought we were gonna go one episode without it.
Right?
Nope. This went to rape. Yeah. Yep. So, but it gets worse a little bit. So Madonna, in the middle of the rape, Madonna says yes, and she starts getting all excited about the sex that's happening.
Oh.
But then in the middle of this rape sex, Pepe says no. And insists that he wants her to fall madly in love with him and that he will be her god. And he leaves her and she cries because she just said yes to sex mid-rape and it was turned down.
PP got turned off when she said yeah.
Maybe. No, he wanted to. He was psychologically messing with her now.
Shaking my head so hard at this movie.
SMH.
Yeah, so then there's this really weird scene where everyone's confused and even Pepe's in his little hut going like what the fuck is happening to me right now? What have I become? And I don't think Pepe's a rapist, I think he's just kind of pushed
he is because he raped her.
Yeah, but she was I
skipped over the part.
I skipped over the part where she was a cunt for an hour of this movie to him. And calling him peep. I didn't. She was rude.
Being a cunt
she doesn't deserve to be raped. But I'm just saying, she was rude to him, is all I'm saying. It went to his head a little. They're on an island, he's dehydrated. Anyway.
So basically you're saying, women, watch out, because if you're the least bit rude to me, that's justifiable.
I mean, according to this guy, Pepe, I'm not Pepe. I don't know what's in this guy's mind. I'm just saying.
Dude, do you know how many girls I would have had to have raped for making fun of my name?
What's wrong with your name?
There's the easy ones.
You know what? In a way, it's kind of good that in this movie this happened, because otherwise Mike would be confused. He'd be like, I don't know why you didn't rape her. Stuck alone on an island with her.
I was trying to find a way to joke into that, but I was lost, so I'm glad you just brought it up. That was good.
Man.
So about an hour after Pepe is like, I don't know what's going on, and Madonna crying, like an hour later, Madonna comes in and starts kissing his naked feet, just like, mwah, 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 like all up his
How do you
stuff
feel
like
about that?
I mean, if it wasn't for that rape thing prior to, I thought it'd be cool. The rape really kind of took the whole movie down a peg, you know?
But you can watch a
Anywho.
dude's feet get kissed, and that's cool too.
I mean, it was like an hour and a half into this movie. It was a cool scene.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know how it works. I'm just
Oh
asking
no,
your
not at all.
opinion.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
does
don't
it
have
work
any.
this-
No, not at all. No, it's like a 0 out of 10, possibly a negative. But it worked pretty well in this movie. Although not as well if it had become before the rape. So anyway, she does that, and then they make love on the beach to like violin music, which actually becomes important. The violin becomes important later on in the movie, or later on in my Horizon.
Because he
shift, I
beats
think.
her with it.
No, there's no more beating. The beating is over, thankfully.
Is this supposed to be a romance?
Yes.
That's fucking
Yes.
sick.
So that's actually coming up. So after a few days or weeks or something like that, Madonna sees a boat and hides from it because she has Stockholm syndrome, I assume. Then they get drunk and play charades and fuck again.
How do they
and
get drunk?
He finds like a little bottle of rum and they start like drinking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then they get rescued like the next day after playing charades.
Please-
is that right? Hang on.
please tell me
Is that
that's
right?
the
Yeah. Oh,
end.
that is right. Yeah. Oh, it's close to the end.
They played
First,
charades.
I don't know when this happened. Oh yeah, like when they're getting rescued, like Madonna throws eggs at him, and like "Fade Into You" by Maisie Starr plays, which is great because it's one of my favorite like sappy '90s songs. So hearing it just randomly, it made me really happy. Anyway, yeah, they get rescued and like some sappy shit happens, and they play coy with each other for a while and write letters and shit like that. But the husband finds one of the letters, and they both think that the other changed their minds about each other because, like, they were talked about how they in love they were and stuff like that. And then, and yeah, that's it. That's the end. Everyone cries at the end because they think that the other ones didn't want them, even though they were both in love with each other. The end. Whew. The rape really took the edge of this movie off. We were having a good time till the rape.
I mean,
It was like we were loving it until that. Like it just took a dark turn.
yeah.
Well,
I think what took the dark turn was him stopping it mid
I
rape,
think
and then
the whole
after she started wanting
her
it.
midway wanting it was like, nah,
Yeah.
that's really not right. And then like that.
Well, no, because
making
it's a
him-
romance movie.
And then that making him go away from it made it like doubly worse. So those two were like a 1-2 of like we're done because this is just way too out there.
was it very like explicit, like in the way it was shot?
Oh yeah, he took off her panties, and I was like, oh shit, I see her bush, and then
Oh,
he was raping her, and then she was like, yeah, this feels pretty good, guy,
Well,
and then he was like,
guy.
no, you will fall in love with me, which she did,
But
and yeah.
was she with Guy Ritchie at the time, like of this? Like were they together?
Yeah, they're married at this point.
So
Dude, what is up with these directors that have like this cuckold fetish
Right?
with their wives?
Yeah.
Like Judd
Yeah.
Apatow does it in every
Yep.
movie. It's so
It's fucking
fucking weird.
Maybe that's what it is. They just like, well, they have all this power. They don't,
Dude, that's why I
wanna be
like Paul.
cuckolded.
That's why I like Paul W.S. Anderson. He just makes his wife go into like tiny rooms and jump over lasers
jump through
and kick men's
lasers and
asses.
hallways.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking kill
He
zombies.
occasionally
and shit, yeah.
has her like get beat up, but like
But not like
as like an action star would. Not
Yeah.
you know.
Not like fall in love with a rapist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuff
he
like-
doesn't have that kind of stuff happen.
and that's why he's the greatest director of our time.
He knows how to treat his
Agreed.
wife, make her look cool.
He's a good
and
man.
not just have her just
He's a great
get
man.
beaten up and raped.
He is the man.
Yeah,
Woo!
Woo!
not the nature man.
The nature man.
Nature man.
So you gotta grow up someday.
Nature man. Dude, he's Ric Flair's father. That's fucking great.
Woo.
Whoa.
Voice dropped a little. Oh, I'm ready for.
I heard.
Someone said something. Okay, I'm ready
heard
for
Angus
Angus.
watched the
Oh
movie.
my god.
Angus, just fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Angus. Oh, is somebody talking? Okay,
So you watched the movie, Angus.
You son of a bitch. Can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me when
all
to
you,
go.
baby.
Tell me when to go.
Tell me when to go. Boom, boom. So, my movie is called...
Yeah.
Fuck you. My movie is called Innocence Lost.
Ooh, okay.
And oh fuck. I made my
Oh, no.
Audacity big. So the way I picked this movie was I don't want to buy any of my shit or anything like that, so I just went on YouTube. And the funny thing is, most Madonna movies on there, like, they have them, but it would have been weird because they were all dubbed in Hindi.
Oh.
So I was like, I cannot possibly do another movie that I don't understand. As funny
fair.
as it would have been. But
Right.
I didn't do that. I found a movie, Innocence Lost. All
Can
right.
can I jump in before you go? Now that I know
Yes.
your movie, I'm kind of surprised. I thought one of you would pick a movie called A Certain Sacrifice. I don't know if either of you came across this as you were looking for your Madonna
I
movies.
did not.
Okay, so it's actually her first movie. They filmed it in 1979, but it didn't come out until 85 after Desperately
shit.
Seeking Susan. But if you look it up, it's basically about her getting into like a sex cult with like satanic sacrifices and stuff. It sounds like a really low rent indie version of the Giallo movie that Mike had watched, All the Colors of the Dark, with like just trippiness and people getting involved in a sex cult and killings and things like that. So I really thought one of you was going to land there.
Yeah, the description says a young transient finds her rapist. So yeah, if I had known, I would have definitely picked it.
I honestly did no research for this. I didn't even like look at the IMDb or anything. I
Oh.
just looked for Madonna's movies.
Apparently, Bonata plays a Lower East Side resident who lives with 3 love slaves, 1 male, 1 female, 1 transgendered.
Hell yeah, ahead of their time. Fuck.
And
Yeah.
she ends up telling them she doesn't need them anymore. They attack her sexually, causing controversy because Madonna's topless. And
Yeah.
later,
Why is that the controversial part?
she's raped again in a bathroom at a coffee shop. And then she gets her love slaves to abduct the rapist. They dress up as hookers and lure him into a limo. They lead him to a theater where a satanic sacrifice is performed. And then one of her friends later wipes the guy's blood all over her. And that's what Wikipedia says the movie is.
Oh, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
like it.
so sorry to interrupt your movie. I didn't want to let that tidbit go.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. All right, so my movie, we begin in the big city, and we have
Yeah.
Madonna.
When was yours from?
1994.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
all ours are like kind of 10 years apart. 84, 94, and then what, 99?
2002?
2002.
2002,
So basically
yeah.
almost 10 years apart each of them. That's cool.
It is.
That is cool.
All right, so Madonna, she's hanging out backstage, and she's all sad and shit. And
Oh.
Yanni comes in
Yanni?
to help her. Yanni.
Straight up Yanni.
Straight out of Yanni.
Oh my god.
Crazy
he puts
motherfucking
on
name,
such
Yanni.
a good show.
Was he gonna get her to jazzercise? What?
Yanni doesn't
Well, he-
jazzercise. Yanni is the concert dude.
No, I know who he is. What's he doing?
He
there?
doesn't
Who's he helping
jazzercise.
her?
He's there to help her, man. Like, he coaches
He
her.
jazzercise. All right.
Like, if you were depressed and Yanni came into the room to talk to you, would you not get happier?
Ooh, I mean,
I'd
if
get
I
more
was a
depressed.
woman, I don't know, because, like, he got in trouble because he lived around here for a minute out in Manalapan, and he was in the news for beating his wife.
Yeah, but not otherwise.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I'd just be scared if he had my ring. Like, other than that, no,
Yeah.
this man is cool as shit.
All right.
Help me out, Yanni.
All right. Well, fuck, man. You just gave me a bad feeling about Yanni. I love Yanni.
Bad taste over Yanni in your mouth. No, I love Yanni. Who knows?
I don't have any taste for Yanni.
Dude, we-
Well,
I am.
We watched that concert.
Yeah, we watched a Yanni
It
concert
fucking
together,
ruled.
and it was one of the best concerts we ever watched.
Was I there?
You were
Yeah,
there, dude.
it was in your room.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We
We
were
watched it
drinking
with the
like
Blue Man
Boone's
Group.
Farm on ice.
Dude, I've been trying to convince people that Yanni rocks live like so hard, and nobody believes me.
Right? Why?
I'm like, just fucking watch it, dude. Dude kicks ass.
You know what? There's so much more on YouTube now. You can go watch like a 5-minute clip of him live, and you'll be sold on watching a whole concert.
Absolutely. Like, he's running around stage, he's beating up the women. He don't give a
He
fuck.
zip lines.
He's ziplining in the women, like, with his fist.
He's got giant
That guy's fucking
Frankensteins
sick.
that come out.
Alright. So we got Madonna, and now she's, like, telling her whole childhood. Her mother's dead. She has, like, a strict Catholic father who looks like Tommy Lee Jones. So I'm only going to refer to him as Tommy Lee Jones from now on.
Yeah.
She's telling her whole life
cool.
to Yanni?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Yanni's there to listen, man. Yanni is a fucking
Yanni's
ear.
there to listen. Oh man, that'd be like a great call-in radio show. Yanni's here to
Holy
listen.
shit. Dude, we have to write him for this idea. Dude, it could be the second podcast on our network. Yanni's here to listen.
Imagine if Yanni was number 2 on our network to us.
Dude, fucking James's mom would finally have a show to call into.
Hey, Patty.
Hi.
Oh!
We love you. So yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. They show her brothers. Her brothers are like a bunch of jealous jerks. Like, they don't like Madonna.
Boo.
And then like her dad was like good to her until he got remarried, and then he became like kind of like distant from her, you know. So she didn't like
Okay.
that. So she acted out. And the way she did that was she became a giant whore in school.
Nice.
Like, she even admitted, like, yeah, I fucked everyone. And then it just showed her fucking every, like, dude in school, like, in the back of cars and shit.
Well, is this like an autobiography? What are we watching?
No, it's
She
just a
used her
movie.
Body just like a
Oh, okay.
band-aid.
So she leaves her dad a note and says she's heading to the big city. And, like, she's just, like, the little girl lost in the big city. She's, like, walking around. She has nowhere to go. She runs into some
Jacksonville.
break dancers, and, like, it's really fun. And she's like, yay, break dancers. Did I miss something?
No, I just
No, we're just laughing at the breakdancers.
Thought
Oh,
of breaking.
All right, so break dancers.
Yeah.
And then it just starts to get sadder. She runs into, like, homeless women without, like, shoes and shit. And then she runs into prostitutes who think, like, she could be one. So then she gets a job at a donut shop. And she wants to get a scholarship into this dance studio, because this is, like, the ultimate dance studio.
But this is
fucking
like
bitch that-
35-year-old Madonna now trying to get into a scholarship in a dance studio.
Well, she's supposed to be younger.
Okay.
Because it basically goes through her whole life as, like, this character.
I gotcha.
So, well, not whole life, because the movie's based in the 80s.
Okay.
It's not, like, current time. All right.
Before the interracial kiss.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So she tries to get a scholarship to this studio, and then the lady's like, ooh, you know who I am, and all this, so she gives her a shot. And now we're back at the donut shop, and black people are just watching her dance through the window. Like, they never come in to buy donuts, they're just there, like cheering her on while she dances while making donuts.
Nice.
And the owner of the donut shop is like, hey, you, quit dancing. And then he starts, like, shaking his, like, fucking thing at the black people in the window.
Boo. the
Thing,
donut
shaking
guy.
his thing at the black people? You
Yeah,
can't
he
do that in
pulls
this day and age.
He pulls his
Look
dick
at this
out
dance,
and starts-
motherfucker. He starts fucking wiggling it.
Dude, he put the donut around his dick and started shaking it at them.
Oh no. We had
No,
a friend
no,
who ended a party
no.
by doing that.
I was gonna say, don't say it.
That's all we had to say.
Okay, we got it out of the way.
Yeah. Another one of our little tidbits.
I wonder if he's ever listened to the show.
Mike's about to call him out by name, so here we go.
Yes. Just like other
I don't even know
people
what we're talking
who
about.
stop listening when he does that. She gets a place, like she finds a place to live, and then she gets fired the same day. She tries to get a
That's
job,
rough.
like, as a nude model, but the guy
Yeah.
tells her she looks like a boy.
Oh.
And she's like, oh yeah, really? And she takes, like, her fucking hat off and then strips down. And all
And
of a
he's
sudden,
like, yeah, totally.
all of a sudden there's like 30 cameras now taking pictures of her.
Oh.
The dude who runs the nude model agency takes her on a date, and after they leave, like, the fucking pizza place or whatever, she just starts graffitiing walls out of nowhere.
A Madonna bitch or like what?
Yes.
I'm Madonna,
I'm
bitch.
Madonna, bitch. So she bangs him in a photo developing room,
Yeah, that's hot.
and now she's fighting
Are the
with
black guys watching while eating donuts?
Yes, and they're cheering.
They're just fucking crumbling all the fucking shit. It's like,
All right. Anytime she's fucking somebody, there's black dudes watching eating donuts. Every
Yeah.
time from now on, just picture it. Do you know how happy that would make me if every time I fucked there were just black people cheering me on outside my window with
I'd be
donuts?
super happy.
I'd be like, fuck yeah, man, I'm doing
Get
something
a
right.
donut afterwards. Be like, thanks, guys. See you later.
Fucking grab a donut with them.
Yeah. You get tired, you can tag him in. Yeah, you get that.
The fucking girl will tell a huge difference.
Yeah, because I'd be way better, of course. I mean, I know. You don't have to say
yeah.
that.
Alright. Fuck. She's fighting with her teacher now at the studio. And now she's going out with a Puerto Rican. And, like, the father, like, is there and he sees her with the Puerto Rican and he's just angry. And the Puerto Rican guy just runs. He just he wants her to come home. That's it. Tommy Lee Jones just wants his baby home. Now she's got a big audition. She owes some rent. And the landlord is all pissed off because she's not paying.
People never pay rent in the 80s.
Never.
Man. What the hell?
I don't think, like, one landlord ever got payment.
That's why rent tripled. They all went back pay.
I'm going to not pay for the next 4 months and just see what happens. Just fucking go with it.
I dare you. Like, update us week to week on the show.
Just, when they come to pick up the check, just eat donuts in front of them. Alright, so
Sorry, baby. Not this month.
She jumps out the window to avoid paying, and she's running with her suitcase. And now some dudes steal her
Black
suitcase.
guys rooting. Woo! Go!
There's like a nice, like, classy party going on, and she just crashes it. And then she's like, oh, these fucking losers, right? And she's like talking to this weird Jewish hipster. And he's like, all these people are my friends, how dare you? And now she's fucking the Jew hipster.
Yeah.
And he tells her that she fucks like a man. And he says, and she says she always wanted to be a man.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so now we get to see Madonna's ass.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. That's all I have to say about it.
Sweet.
It's a pretty sweet ass. Now she's living with the Jew hipster and his brother, and they're at the audition, and she takes the mic, and they love her. So now she's going to Paris because the record people saw her, and they're like, or not the record people, the dancing, like, scouts saw her. And then saw that she took the mic and everything, was like, ooh, this bitch is bad. So they were taking her to Paris. And then like, the hipster Jew doesn't want her to go. And then she goes to Paris, but she ends up being too sexy for Paris. That's what they tell her.
What? Like, right said Fred? I'm too sexy.
Too sexy for my Paris. Too sexy for the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, so these fucking assholes kick her back to fucking America. And she tries to get back with the hipster Jew. And she does, and he starts to teach her guitar. So she's like, she worms her way into him and his brother's band. And their band just found like a female singer who is like really good, and they were all happy. So Madonna's a bitch, and she sabotages this girl to make her like run out during their first gig ever. And then she takes over as a singer, and the crowd like just fucking loses their mind. They love it. And now the hipster Jew guy is just like, oh, I hated it. And then he kicks her out and fucking breaks up with her. And now Madonna's being a bitch to, like, some, like, agent. And she even steals her lunch. And makes her go to her concert. Because she's like, no, this tape won't do me any justice. You come see me. So then the fucking lady goes to the show and she's like, you came too late, fuck you. But I'm doing another show.
What?
Like, she's like the meanest fucking person for no reason. Like, when she has nothing. So, I guess she put on a good enough show to where the fucking, the agent hires her, but she hires her as a maid.
This is what's
$100 a week. I think that's just like kind of like a retainer thing to where she can't sign with anybody else, so the technical job is made. So the fucking agent gets her a band, but Madonna doesn't like the drummer of the band. So
oh my gosh.
What she does to get him kicked out of the band is anybody in the band that fucks Madonna gets fired by the agent. So she fucks the drummer just to get him fired.
I don't like him.
I feel like that's not a contract a record company would have.
It's
the 80s, bro. It's a different time.
Yeah, they'd be more like it would. In the 80s, a record company would have a "don't fuck people" clause.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So Madonna's now happy because she gets to bring in her hip black drummer, who apparently she was also fucking. God, and the agent's mad about it.
She had AIDS back then. She has all kinds of AIDS.
All right. Next thing is just her teeth are bleeding.
What? Her teeth are bleeding.
Her teeth are bleeding. Her teeth are bleeding.
That oh no. Yeah. Get the stick. Get the stick.
Oh, it's because it's the AIDS. I was right.
That's a symptom. Yeah, your teeth just start bleeding.
Her teeth are bleeding is something that only TJ will ever understand.
Well, people have seen Dumbland. People know David Lynch.
I know people know David Lynch, but Dumbland's a really fucking obscure one.
It's on YouTube, isn't it?
I have no idea. I have the DVD. If you guys have this, cut the episode right now and go watch Dumbland by David Lynch.
I thought he had it like on his website even. Like,
I don't know, but I paid $20 for that DVD, and it's like 12 minutes long.
Did it have features?
Huh?
Did it even have features?
I don't even fucking remember. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, they're all on YouTube.
Ah, shit. I overpaid 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Alright, so now she's having flashbacks of her mother dying, and she's at the big gig. She's got a big gig coming up. And now she's
had a lot of big gigs this movie.
Hey! Well, you're about to hear another one. Woo! Now she's fucking her agent's 16-year-old nephew.
Oh!
Yeah, my favorite. Now he's gonna have
that
AIDS.
would be a problem in the
terrible.
contract.
Well, the thing is, the fucking agent didn't give a shit about that. She was angry at her, but
like Elvis did it, Chuck Berry did it. Chuck Berry took the girl across like state lines.
Chuck Berry dated a 12-year-old. I think that's a little different.
What?
I thought Chuck Berry fucked a 12-year-old.
Chuck Berry, I think she was 14, and he was like hauling her around the country, so he got in trouble for not only like having the relationship, but also technically trafficking her because she was taking her over state lines.
Wouldn't that be kidnapping?
I don't know. I haven't read Wikipedia in a while.
Right.
Chuck Berry's a human trafficker.
Dude, didn't Chuck Berry also like set up like hidden cameras in fucking toilets to watch girls
16
fucking
ounce cinema
piss?
is against child trafficking.
What?
That's all I wanted to say.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're all against it, or at least 2 out of 3 ain't bad are against
Ain't
it.
bad. Yeah, I'm staying silent on this subject.
Angus has to do more research.
My uncle Chuck Berry was a good man. You leave him alone. Shit. This is your cousin, Marvin. Alright. Now she's tired of doing all the clubs, so she sees this DJ.
Tired of doing all the sex. Jesus.
No, she's not tired of that, trust me. She never tires of it. And I gotta say, the one good thing is she never gets raped in these movies. She does the raping, if anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, now she's fucking a DJ for his connections. And the DJ
How
looks
long
like
is this movie?
We're getting there. So the DJ looks like Paul Rudd playing a Hispanic 80s gay porn star. Which is just awesome.
This is Paul Rudd in a do-rag.
But he has like the mustache, like the kind of handlebar mustache too.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And he's shirtless the whole time. He never puts on a shirt. So she leaves her agent and they release her new album, but she's not allowed on the cover because they want people to think she's black. Because she sounds black on the record.
Madonna sounds black.
Apparently on the first album. I don't know. I've never listened to it. But they didn't want to put her on because they wanted people to think she was black. And I stopped taking notes about here. So I'm
Nice.
going to go from memory.
The
She
end.
no, she released her second.
She fucks a lot of guys, and then she fucks a lot of guys, and then she fucks a lot of guys.
Honestly, I think she fucked like 3 more people between this and the end.
Are these
so.
all like sex scenes? Like this is like...
Yeah, no, there's a ton of sex scenes. And dude,
So,
I
like-
did not just pick out a goddamn softcore porn this time, I swear.
So, like half this movie is just sex scenes.
Yeah, that's majority of it is her being a bitch and her fucking dudes.
Would she just get like dancers from her music videos that she wanted to have sex scenes with, and just lined them up and plugged them into a plot and plugged them into her?
I mean, if I was gonna make a movie, I would do something like that. Yeah.
She's the fucking what's his name, Weinstein of fucking music videos.
Right?
All right, so yeah, she releases that album. It does whatever, but then she makes a new song, and this song becomes popular, and then it leads her back to where she is in the very beginning.
With Yanni.
The end with Yanni, yes.
Cool.
And I will end the movie there.
Movie is ended. Fortunately, my selling point Horizon Shift are awful, so we can
All right.
roll right through all of these.
Yeah.
Mine are easy.
All right, with our movies out of the way, it's time for our next segment, our best bullet points, where we each tell the best selling points of our movies. So I'm going to take the lead with Desperately Seeking Susan. What I'll say is that it has a cool, like, 80s atmosphere. You know how, like, some movies are just 80s, and they have, like, the style. You see a lot of the streets of New York. So it has a lot of that if you want a movie with that hardcore 80s feel. Also has, of course, good production values. It has a good pace. The story is somewhat interesting, and there's a lot of funny dialogue. I didn't really write all of it down because I knew just me trying to retell funny dialogue, the jokes would be lost on the show. But even from the tidbits I gave you, there's a lot of funny dialogue in the situations, and those are my selling points for Desperately Seeking Susan.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take a big L on the selling point here. Really, there really isn't any. I mean, it's obvious. It's obviously Madonna getting beaten until she's a meek little puppy and suffering Stockholm syndrome to her handsome Greek lover. But I didn't want to say that because that would sound insane. But really, that's the selling point. 30 minutes of Madonna just being fucking trashed by a handsome man.
Trashed. I love that term.
Please watch Swept Away. Thank you. Angus?
Okay, so
That's still TJ. TJ's like, yeah, you know what? You got me.
All right, so my movie was a bit different.
Yeah.
Because my movie did not have Madonna in it at all. My movie starred Terumi Matthews as Madonna.
Do what?
In the biopic Madonna, Innocence Lost. Which, at the beginning of the film, it says that Madonna had nothing to do with this movie, did not approve any of it. The music has been changed.
Son of a bitch.
The music has been changed because of legal reasons.
I'm glad I ended up watching my Madonna movie. Imagine 2 out of 3 of our Madonna movies didn't have Madonna.
So like, did you look this up? Does this story have any relation to any kind of actual history or fact?
Yeah, she was a fucking mean whore.
Yanni was in it, so you know what? I'll take Yanni over Madonna any day of the week.
Wait, does this chick actually look remotely like Madonna?
Absolutely.
Wait, how is this your selling point?
Hold on.
Okay.
Because I didn't watch a goddamn Madonna movie. The funny thing is,
true.
the reviews for this movie, like, it was actually nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
Oh, wow.
It was actually pretty well done. Like, the lady who played her fucking killed it. And the thing is, like, people were saying in the reviews, she did better than if Madonna played the role. They were like,
probably, because Madonna can't act. This chick doesn't look anything like Madonna.
In this movie, she did. In this movie, she did. Look up the fucking thing.
I'm doing it.
Maybe 40 years ago, maybe.
She has the fucking gap and everything. So...
I mean, I guess in 1994 on full frame on TV.
One of the things I love is the tagline is the ambition, the price, the truth. So they're saying this is all true. Like, she just fucked her way to the top.
I've been bamboozled.
And very, like, mean to everyone along the way.
I like it. All right.
All right. So now that that's over with, we can move on to our favorite segment. That's when we relate all of our movies to Paul W.S. Anderson's 1997 classic Event Horizon in a segment called The Horizon Shift. I have 2 quickies for my shift. The first one being that Desperately Seeking Susan and Horizon Shift were very close in their box office returns, with Desperately Seeking Susan taking in about 27 million, a little over 27 million. Event Horizon just over 26 million. So, close. Naturally, Desperately Seeking Susan was made on a minuscule budget, so it was actually a success, where Event Horizon was a flop. But the larger shift is that Desperately Seeking Susan, as they were making it, if you remember, Madonna made it big while they were still doing production on it. And originally, Desperately Seeking Susan was actually going to be an R-rated movie. But because Madonna became so big, they wanted to be able to get the teen crowd in. So they cut things, much like Event Horizon had elements cut to bring it from the NC-17 down to R.
Dude, imagine the crazy fucking hell scenes of Madonna
and Desperately Seeking Susan, that have never been released. Also, that ties it in as well,
man.
that the uncut version has never been released.
I'm just imagining that Sam Neill became like a sex icon, and that's why they had to cut his scenes.
To cut the graphic sex orgy gore.
It was the same reason he became a giant sex symbol pop star.
Yeah, that was the opening scene. So, like, when you see her in the hotel room with the mobster asleep, that's why he's sleeping through everything
And
she does.
she's actually coming out of his throat, like, just naked and bloody. It's just like, he's fucking shaking like Baby Bear in space, just fucking coming apart.
I think you should see what Will Patton does to him when he goes in there before he throws him out the window.
It was actually rated X to begin with. All right, so if you recall the wonderful visual effects of Event Horizon, a man named Stuart McCara is responsible for them as the visual effects producer for both Swept Away and Event Horizon.
Nice!
Yeah, very cool. Also, this is probably the craziest thing I've ever read on IMDb. A man named Mark Burrow, I swear, plays violin on 983 films.
Holy shit!
Including Swept Away and Event Horizon.
So he must have he must have just recorded something that went public domain or something that they just use all the time, or.
Ooh, that's a possibility.
For that many
that probably
credits,
makes more sense.
For that many
He's
credits,
made
this guy is not
900
like
different songs.
this guy is not being called in by the composer to right like.
Yeah, he does a solid 15 to 20 films a year, just steady. So I don't know. I'm actually gonna have to look that up. That's actually more.
I mean, it could be that he's
yeah.
just a jobbing, but they don't normally like credit every
He's a
member of the
jobber.
orchestra.
Yeah, no, it specifically says violin. That's his credit.
Dude,
So
I'm just
So
imagining
maybe
like the
specifically the
music
track.
producers are just sitting there with like a cigarette. God damn it, we need a good violin.
Yeah,
You know who to
Mark
call.
Burrow, he wasn't fucking swept
like,
away.
I feel like people are going in and screen testing to be like the background violin.
And he started from like 73, and he's still 2013.
I'm looking
He's
for
still,
like
2019.
we're looking
he's
for
going
like a
strong,
Mark
so.
Burrow type.
Angus.
That was a crazy one. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the least expected things ever. Is the fucking
Next time we watch Event
violinist.
Horizon, I'm gonna have to really look into the violin part of the film. See where it is.
That blows my mind. All right, so my horizon shift is that Madonna uses anyone to get where she needs to go. Just like Weir used the Lewis and Clark to get where he needed to go. And he used the whole
Lewis
crew to
and
get
Clark
where he needed to
is
be.
the Madonna. Yeah. Madonna is the vessel. I like it.
I like it too. So now it comes down to voting, and I'm in a toss up.
You're in a pickle.
You know, like I was kind of thinking, you know, well, like Angus's movie doesn't even have Madonna, but it seems to be like made by people who hate Madonna. But then Swept Away also seems like it was made by people who hate Madonna. So we're married to Madonna.
No. Guy Ritchie loved Madonna so much. That's where the hate came from.
These just both seem so malicious.
I cannot believe Guy Ritchie made this film. It is so fucking boring. Except until the Greek starts hitting her, then I'm like, oh yeah, this is Guy Ritchie, all right.
I'm like, I don't know. Like Angus's movie seems like a mess, and it's just a string of like, oh, Madonna's a whore, Madonna's a whore, Madonna's a whore, Madonna's a whore. But then, like, Mike, your movie sounds like the same thing but boring. Madonna's a whore, beat her. Madonna's a whore, beat her. Madonna's a whore, beat her. I feel like I should flip a coin.
I think you should see where your heart lands, brother.
See where your heart lands instead
No,
of
I'm flipping a
That's
coin.
great.
I'm flipping a coin. We'll say.
I don't know. What about the selling points maybe, or the shifts? You know.
You're right. Let me.
Silence.
Like,
I'm really worried.
Is he
I don't
finding
know
a
where he's gonna
coin?
go.
no,
he's thinking.
I'm just I really like. I don't want to do this, but because your shift was solid and Madonna was actually in your movie, I'm voting for Mike's grotesque debasement of Madonna.
The basement of Madonna. I like it. I did a fist bump. I was so happy.
I've never felt dirtier voting before.
You really should, man. You let me down.
So, my choice isn't as hard, because even though I had a really good time talking about T-Jesus' movie, I really have no urge to watch T-Jesus' movie. Whereas black donut eating men watching Madonna have sex.
Watching not Madonna
is
have
really
sex.
Not Madonna have sex.
Hotter Madonna.
As Madonna is actually more intriguing than watching another Madonna film. I'm going to go with Roger Ebert here and go with Angus's film.
Yeah,
Roger
hell
Ebert
yeah.
voted for
Well, Roger Ebert decided that Madonna's a terrible actress.
Oh, yeah,
Why
no,
watch
that's
the
true.
films?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Angus, it's up to you to crown a tie.
Yeah. Ace is going to break this down.
Yeah, this one is a weird one, like for sure.
Yep.
But after hearing both your guys' movie, I came up with my answer pretty quickly. Well, not pretty
Alright.
quickly. Fuck. And I'm gonna go with Mike.
Yeah!
Just for the simple fact that, like, I want to see her get kicked in the ribs now, just for learning, like, what a shitty person she is. To see her get beat will actually make me happy to know how many lives she's fucking ruined. So, yeah. Mike, you got this, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
Do you have a theme ready for us for next episode, Michael?
Deformed humanity. That's my next theme.
What is it?
Deformed.
Featuring a deformed humanity. So, like a deformed person in your film.
Deformed.
Deformed,
Like
I
yeah.
thought you
could-
said B4.
No. Like the vitamin? I don't
No, like before human. I thought we were watching like all reptile movies and shit. Like all dinosaurs.
Before Christ, yeah. Just,
Okay, there's some really good ones in this.
yeah. Well, mostly I'm looking at the Iron Maiden Killers little puppet. One of you guys got me, or maybe I got myself.
what?
So I was like, oh yeah, let's watch a movie with those guys.
The what?
Iron Maiden. They have the Eddie guy.
I got you
The
that.
little. You got me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's me.
So,
That's what made me get that.
just to clarify, this
no zombies.
no zombies.
Sorry. No zombies.
Yeah, we've already done. Well, no, we haven't already done zombies. But to clarify,
yeah.
that would include
enough.
like sort of like half human monsters, maybe like like The Fly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so we're not having to watch movies like The Elephant Man and The Mask and
no.
stuff like that.
The funny thing is, like, when Mike stayed at my house, like, he stayed in the room with, like, all my full moon shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he had, like, evil puppets and shit looking at him, so I believe this inspired him, because Full Moon had a lot of those fucking
That's
deformed
actually a good point. Yeah, that
people.
might be true. Yeah, just fucking,
I think it
that's
kind of
what
rubbed
yeah.
off on you. Because they had a few, like, castle freaking shit that would be perfect for this.
Yeah,
I had to
or I'll
look at
just,
them every
we'll
night
just
before I
roll
went
up
to
with
bed.
David Cronenberg films.
Yeah. It'll be a David Cronenberg special.
Mike's coming back with Naked Lunch.
Ooh.
I did not like that movie.
No, it's
I
way
will
too
not
out
watch
there.
it then.
Dude, I had a fucking, like, a boss, like, this gay boss who told me it was, like, the greatest movie ever. And he would be like, yeah, this movie was just like me and my friends all hanging out because we were all writers. And I was like,
Oh.
all right, I'll check it out. So I watched it, I'm like, you guys were all bugs? Is that what you gay people call each other? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Whoa! Let's not get. I'm excited to watch that soon. Let's not get it. Ahead.
I mean, it's like any other David Cronenberg movie, but without a plot.
it's-
Perfect.
And Peter Weller.
it-
I watched it because Peter Weller was in
I don't
it.
believe in plots.
That was a cool part, was the Peter Weller part.
And
But
I
like,
hadn't
that
yet-
movie just made no sense.
Yeah, I hadn't yet learned that David Cronenberg is kind of a one-note guy.
There's actually a funny Simpsons joke where they sneak into a rated R movie with the fake ID, and they go see Naked Lunch, and then Nelson says, "I can think of two things wrong with that title." And now that I actually saw the movie, it's hilarious.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Well, we've been 16-ounce cinema. Angus, why don't you see us out?
All right. Yes, we have been 16-ounce cinema, and we would like you guys to follow us on our Facebook page, our Instagram. Go wherever you listen to the show. Please review it if you can, like on iTunes. I don't know if Google does it. I don't think so. Spotify, go check us out there. We're on all these different things. Podbean. I found us on some weird ass shit that I didn't even know about.
We're out there now, so you're gonna find us.
Dude, there's like a fucking charting website that has us and has all our links and shit I had no idea about. Like, I found some weird stuff. So all you gotta do is just search our name and listen. And review, rate, talk to us. Let us know that you're out there.
And definitely follow us on Facebook, because remember, if you follow us on Facebook, you have a very good chance that Mike is going to call you out by name and thank you for listening to the show.
And maybe sexually harass you on the show.
Or somewhere among
Goodbye, everyone.
Internet presence. But he usually has the good grace to do it on his own personal account, not on our show account. So you have that.
Woo!
See ya.
I will not watch it then. Hey! Whoa! Let's not get. I'm excited to watch that soon. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah.